Transformers: The Last Night. This is clearly the worst Transformers movie of all time. There's no debate. There's nobody that could tell me different. The very beginning of this movie, we see Merlin. Yes, that Merlin, played by Stanley Tucci, who was in the fourth film, and I guess Michael Bay liked him so much, he put a goddamn beard and long hair and said, hey, go have at it. And this is another case of the Transformers movies. Almost at the beginning of each and every single one of them, we see a piece of history, an old event that happened in time, and the Transformers have been a part of it. They've interacted with it. Every single movie, even though the first film, it was this big deal that this is the first time Transformers have been on Earth. I guess not. All of these various times, this one is the most egregious. This one is the dumbest one for them to connect to history, especially because the Transformers help Merlin. There's this magic staff that Merlin hides for the Transformers. What the fuck? We cut to present day. And it's been 5 years after the events of Age of Extinction. So 5 years after Optimus Prime all of a sudden was able to fly, he flew off of Earth to go back to his home, to go after his creators and find out what the fuck's been going on. Why have they been lying to him? I guess it took 5 years for him to fly there? I mean, granted, it's outer space, and depending on how far Cybertron is, maybe that is the case. It's just odd, I guess. But Optimus, he arrives on Cybertron, and you think it's about to be this badass moment. You think because he's Optimus Prime, because he's the leader, because we look to him to save the day, that he is going to be that badass now. But no, he immediately gets brainwashed by this Quintessa character. And this is super frustrating. This sucks because as much as I like Optimus Prime, or at the very least the idea of Optimus Prime, it seems like every time Optimus is in these Michael Bay live action movies, he either gets his ass kicked or he desperately needs the humans' help because otherwise he would lose all the time, or he does just flat out lose, like he does right here, right now. Honestly, why am I even liking the Optimus Prime character? Like, what is there to like about him other than he looks cool, he sounds cool? But I'm saying, does he get anything done on his own? Back on Earth, the government is still hunting the Transformers from the last movie. You see Mark Wahlberg's character, Cade Yeager. He has been hiding Autobots, and he's been trying to take care of them. And he happens to run into this Isabella character. And I got nervous at first when I first saw this because Michael Bay loves to sexualize his female characters. I'm even talking about Megan Fox, who was supposed to be, 16, 17 years old in that first movie, to the last movie, the character that was Mark Wahlberg's daughter. She was clearly 17 in the film, and they love to show her ass. So this time, this girl looks even younger, like 14, 15 maybe, probably even younger than that. I wouldn't have been surprised if Michael Bay was like, here's your next hottie. Megatron is no longer Galvatron. I almost forgot about this whole bullshit of Megatron, his dead body being turned into Galvatron. Now, Galvatron, I believe, is a different villain in the cartoons, but in these movies, they decided to just turn Megatron into that character. Well, thankfully, he's no longer that. He shedded that whole thing. He's back to being Megatron, and he decides, him and the Decepticons, he decides to join with the government. Huh? The same government who wants to capture or kill all of the Transformers. The same government who does not trust the Transformers because they cause too much damage, because they're too dangerous. I guess in some ways they have a point. But why would they team with the ones who have been proven, who they know are the bad guys who do the wrong things. First of all, they're called Decepticons, so yeah, let's trust them. And second, Megatron has tried to destroy the world countless times. If the government's going to team with Transformers, why would it be the bad guys? Oh, I know, because reasons. Because the script dictates so. Mark Wahlberg runs into this character who tells him, hey, you need to meet this guy. You have to go to the United Kingdom in England. So he goes there and he meets Anthony Hopkins. Wow. How much money did it cost to rope Anthony Hopkins into this piece of shit film? So Anthony Hopkins is there, and he's basically revealing to Marky Mark about how there was this secret society of people who have been working with and helping the Transformers for decades. Centuries, almost. I mean, this has been going on for the longest time, and they even show a flashback of Bumblebee fighting Nazis. Oh my God. Another example of Transformers being in past events, impacting American history. But you know what? This actually might be the dumbest one that they did. I might take back the Merlin thing, because at least that's fantasy. No, Bumblebee actually killed Nazis. Sure, why the fuck not? We get introduced to this Oxford professor named Vivian Wembley. Whoever wrote this fucking movie really said, oh, well, we're in England, so we should write a character with the last name Wembley, because they're in England. Fuck. And we find out that not only is this just another smoking hot chick for Mark Wahlberg to potentially date, but she is a direct descendant of Merlin. How convenient. And not just that, this is the stupidest shit ever. I semi-appreciate the fact that they tried to say that she's a professor, so she's smart. She's not just the eye candy, which has been every other female character in the past films, but they don't do a very good job of making this feel natural or organic. She's just a professor, and that's it. Optimus Prime, who this must be like an hour later, evil Optimus Prime arrives on Earth, and he's trying to find the staff and steal the staff for the bad guys. And seeing Optimus be bad is something that I didn't like, right? I hated seeing it, and obviously that's the desired effect. The desired effect is that we're supposed to be upset that Optimus is doing all these bad things, and he has this big fight with Bumblebee where he nearly kills Bumblebee. But this didn't feel earned. This didn't feel like this should have happened. It just felt like they didn't know what to do with Optimus Prime's character. They just fresh out of ideas with your main fucking character. So they got rid of him for all of that time, and they turned him evil because fuck it. Luckily, though, Bumblebee uses a spare voice box that he didn't have until right this second, or maybe he did have before, because didn't the ending of the first movie, Bumblebee did get a voice box and did have his voice back, and then they just disregarded that in the sequel. In every subsequent sequel, he just still uses the radio and other noises. He never uses his voice. They never addressed it. Now he has it back again. And he uses the voice to talk Optimus down. It works. Optimus is able to fight off the brainwashing because, yeah, it's that easy. And now our good guys, our Autobots and good humans, they end up teaming with the government now, because the government realizes that they fucked up, that they shouldn't have teamed with the Decepticons, and that, oh, fuck, yeah, let's be smart and actually help the good guys. While this is going on, Megatron kills Anthony Hopkins. And this should have been a sad moment. This should have been like a, oh, wow, it's Anthony Hopkins. But honestly, I was happy for him that he got to leave this movie. He collected that big paycheck and got to bounce right the hell out of there. Good for him. But then Mark Wahlberg has the Excalibur sword. So he was able to use the Excalibur sword and fight off Decepticons. This was silly as fuck. I mean, this is another example of why couldn't we just have Optimus Prime do this? Why couldn't we have Optimus Prime be the badass? Be the guy that saves the day, that takes Excalibur and just fucking wrecks shit. But no. The little dinky small ass human had to be the one to carry the sword and fight. What the fuck, man? God damn it. Well, at least Optimus is able to defeat Megatron again. How many times have we seen that? How many times have I said that? Megatron was an interesting villain in the first movie, but they've tried so many times to just bring him back and bring him back and bring him back. And every single time they brought him back, he's been lamer, he's been dumber, and he's been less threatening to now being reduced to just another piece of shit robot. Bumblebee is able to defeat Quintessa, so they defeated the bad Cybertrononians, or whatever the fuck they're called. And after this, they decide to leave Earth because they want to rebuild. They want to rebuild Cybertron back to the way that it was and sort of get back to... That was their original plan, right? That was their original idea, is that Optimus wanted to go back to his home and save it. And so maybe they're able to do so, even though there's 5 Autobots left now? And if this isn't dumb enough, if all of this isn't dumb enough, Quintessa did not die. No, it's revealed that not only is she still alive, but she disguises herself as a human. Oh, fuck. So we're bringing back that whole Decepticons can turn into humans thing that was in Transformers 2. Great. And so she, as a human, wants to help find a way to destroy the Autobots. She's going to try to pretend to work with these scientists in order to create a weapon that will stop them. This is stupid. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. There is a reason why there has been 2 Transformers movies after this particular film, and none of them have addressed, none of them have been connected to where this movie left off. The other 2 movies now have all been prequels. In fact, we don't even officially know for sure if Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast, if they are connected to these Michael Bay movies. I assume that they are, and most likely they are. But there's never been a direct correlation, a direct connection, or a direct moment of here it is, here's the proof. No, honestly, they've been making movies that take place in the past, so they don't have to deal with the bullshit of The Last Knight. The Last Knight almost destroyed this franchise. You could argue the franchise has been limping along for years, and they have, but they still were making money. For whatever reason, each sequel, the dumber they got, the more money they made. Age of Extinction, I believe, made over $1 billion. What the fuck? But The Last Knight was a bomb. The Last Knight did not make the money that they wanted, and it was the lowest grossing Transformers movie to date. And so, not only do I say fuck this movie based off the writing, based off of the acting, based off of the story, but based off of almost destroying the franchise, Michael Bay should not be connected to this. I know he still produces, or at least in name, he produces these movies, but he should have been thrown out the door and never welcomed back ever again. This film sucks. When people try to use the excuse for the second film that, hey, there was a writer's strike, and so the script was what it was. Well, what's your excuse for The Last Knight? Was there another strike? No. Did the writers just shit this script out and didn't expect the studios to actually accept it? And then they did. Because that's where we're at, people. I hate this film. I hate it with a passion. When I saw this movie in theaters, I've talked about this plenty of times, but let's mention it again. What the fuck? When I saw this movie, probably a half hour in, I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave the theater because I just knew it would be more and more of the same dumb shit. The only reason why I stayed, and the only reason why I watched this the entire way through, is because I give myself a rule. Because if I didn't give myself a rule, I would probably walk out of over 10 movies a year, right? With all the bad movies that I see, especially in theaters, why waste the time? Why waste the money? Why waste the effort? We only live once, and I don't want to spend most of my life in a dark fucking room watching bad shit. But I give myself 2 movies that I can walk out of in the theater, and I had already used up those 2 movies, and I regretted it. I did. So, let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think of Transformers The Last Knight? Do you hate this movie as well? Because, god damn it, there's no way that somebody out there likes this film. If you do like this movie, and if you're brave enough to admit it, tell me how it's possible. Tell me why. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.